Hello friends, hello, all kind adequate people. Today let us talk about a topic that is scary and controversial. Which foods actually increase the risk of cancer? In the news you can hear anything. Meat is like cigarettes, sugar feeds cancer, coffee is dangerous, and soy causes breast cancer. Where is the truth and where is the myth? This is a video I made to give you the full honest picture in one place. Just the facts and only evidence-based medicine. We will break down foods that have a proven link to cancer. Foods with probable risks and myths that millions of people believe in vain. By the end of this video you will have a simple and clear cheat sheet. What to exclude, what to limit, and what on the contrary you should not be afraid of. Let us start with the simplest and most unpleasant products that millions of people eat every day. Processed meat, sausages, bacon, smoked meats, and of course hot dogs. Scientists have long proven regular consumption of these foods increases the risk of cancer, most notably colon cancer. The numbers are simple, just 50 grams a day, which is 1 hot dog or 2 slices of bacon, and the risk of colorectal cancer increases by 18%. It is important to realize it is not about eating a sausage for the holiday. It is about habit every day and year after year. That is what adds up to the extra percent of risk. Many people think, but it is protein. So it is good for you. Yes, protein is necessary, but there are dozens of safe sources of protein: fish, poultry, legumes, nuts, and even eggs. Sausage is not about benefit, it is about the quick taste that turns into long-term problems. One more point, there is no safe level for these foods. The less, the better. Remember the formula: today sausage equals tomorrow an extra chance of diagnosis, and the question remains only to you. What is the choice, a few minutes of flavor or years of health? The second popular product that few people want to hear the truth about is alcohol. For many it is a little bit of wine for health, but science says otherwise. Alcohol is a proven carcinogen, and it is not just about the liver. As many people think, regular consumption increases the risk of cancer of the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, liver, breast, and colon. Want the numbers? In 2020, more than 700,000 cases of cancer worldwide were caused specifically by alcohol. And importantly, it is not just hard alcohol, it is not just binge drinking, even moderate drinking contributes. Why is that? Because ethanol in the body is converted into acetaldehyde. This is a toxic substance that damages DNA and prevents cells from repairing it. Many people will say, so what? I drink a little bit at a time, and that is probably safe. No, unfortunately, there is no safe dose of alcohol for cancer. The formula is simple: the less the better. Remember the formula: every drink is an extra chance for a mutation that the body may not be able to fix. And the choice is again ours: drink for the sake of a moment of relaxation, or give up for the sake of many years without unnecessary risk. The third point is not actually about food, but about food storage. This is something that many people do not even realize. Aflatoxins are poisons that are released by certain types of mold. Where are they found? In nuts, especially peanuts. Please do not correct the botanists. I know peanuts are not nuts, but everyone calls them nuts. They are also found in corn, in grains, in spices, especially if they have been stored in moisture and warmth. It is not just spoiling the flavor, but aflatoxins are one of the strongest natural carcinogens. Their main target is the liver. In Asian and African countries, they are responsible for thousands of cases of liver cancer every year. The most dangerous thing is when the hepatitis B or C virus is added to it. Then the risk skyrockets tenfold. Many people think, if the mold is visible, I will cut it off and eat the rest. That is a mistake. Toxins can be in foods before you can even see mold. So the rule is simple. Nuts and cereals should be stored in a dry place. Anything with a suspicious taste or odor should be thrown away immediately. It may seem pathetic, yes, but health is more expensive. Remember, a moldy nut today equals a possible risk to the liver tomorrow. The fourth risk factor is related to the most ancient storage technology: heavy salting. In some countries, foods cooked with huge amounts of salt are still popular. These are traditional salted fish, heavily salted vegetables, and pickles. What is dangerous about them? Excess salt damages the mucosa of the stomach and creates conditions for chronic inflammation. Together with Helicobacter pylori infection, it leads to an increased risk of stomach cancer. There is also a special example: Canton salted fish. International studies have shown its regular consumption is associated not only with stomach cancer, but also with cancer of the pharynx. It is important to emphasize that this is not about lightly salted dishes. It is about foods that use salt as the primary preservative. A myth I often hear, but it is tradition, so is it safe? Unfortunately, no. It is in regions where such foods are traditional that the risk of stomach cancer is always higher than average. So the rule is simple: fresh fish is better than salted fish. Vegetables and fruits are better than pickles in brine. Salt is a seasoning, not a storage method. Daily pickling is not only a taste of the past, but a risk to the future. The next item is red meat, beef, pork, lamb. Here the position of scientists sounds softer than with sausage. Red meat is not a proven but a probable carcinogen, yet there is a connection, and it primarily concerns colorectal cancer. The numbers here are as follows. Every 100 grams of red meat per day increases your risk by about 17 to 18%. The larger the portion and the more often, the higher the risk. But it is important to realize that red meat is not a poison. It is a source of iron, protein, and vitamin B12. That is why scientists say not never, but in moderation. Recommendations sound like this: no more than 3 servings of red meat per week, or no more than 500 grams of red meat already cooked per week. It is better less, and certainly not every day. Another important point is the method of cooking. Strongly fried burnt meat forms additional carcinogens. So the best option is stewing, boiling, and baking. Grilling is also possible, as long as you avoid the black crust. A myth worth debunking is that red meat is the main protein, and you cannot do without it. It is not true. There are fish, poultry, legumes, nuts, and they are not associated with increased cancer risk. Remember a simple formula: red meat can be eaten, but a little bit at a time and cooked without coals or smoke. The 6th risk factor has to do not with the foods themselves, but with how we cook them and how we drink them. The first is meat over high heat: shish kebab, barbecue, charcoal, steaks grilled to a black crust. At these temperatures, substances are formed in meat from the incomplete combustion of fat and protein. In animal experiments, they cause tumors. In humans, the evidence is softer, but there is still a link. Does that mean kebabs are off limits? No, but there are simple rules. Do not cook the meat to a black crust. Cut off any burnt areas. Cook over medium heat, not maximum heat. Use marinades with herbs to reduce the formation of harmful substances. Second, starchy foods that are heavily fried: French fries, chips, bread that you brown to charcoal. Here, hello toasters. They produce acrylamide, the chemical compound that forms from sugar and amino acids at high temperatures. In the lab, acrylamide has shown carcinogenic effects. In humans, the data is not as clear-cut, but the benchmark is simple. A golden crust is normal, almost black is very bad, and the third is too hot drinks. Many people ask, is it true that tea can cause cancer? It is not tea or coffee that is dangerous, but the temperature. If you drink drinks very hot, above 65 degrees, the esophageal mucosa is burned. Repeated damage increases the risk of cancer. Let your tea or coffee cool down a bit. The bottom line is simple. It is not the food itself that creates the danger, but the black crust and scalding boiling water. Golden is better than black, warm is better than boiling. The 7th risk factor is associated not with a single product but with a whole category. These are the so-called ultra-processed products. What are they? Sodas, sugary drinks, fast food, chips, cookies, candy, sausages, ready-made convenience foods and snacks from a bag. Why then? First, they are calorie-dense foods with sugar, fat and salt, but almost no fiber. You can easily overeat them and it leads to excess weight, and being overweight is a proven risk factor for at least 12 different types of cancer. These include breast, colon, pancreatic and endometrial cancers. Second, studies show that ultra-processed foods may be linked to increased cancer risk even on their own. For example, women were found to have a higher incidence of breast and ovarian cancer when they consumed large amounts of these foods. A question that is often asked: what if sometimes? The answer is like with alcohol and sausage, the less the better. Once a month, not a problem. Every day, risk formation. It is important to clarify that not any processing is dangerous. Bread, whole wheat flour, or homemade soup are processing, but beneficial. We are talking specifically about products where half of the composition is sugar, trans fat, and flavorings. Remember the formula: more vegetables, whole grains, simple homemade food, less brightly colored packages from the supermarket. Now let us talk about the frequent questions and myths. The myth that sugar feeds cancer. The truth is that sugar is not a direct carcinogen. Tumors do use glucose as fuel, but healthy cells do the same. The risk comes through being overweight and insulin resistance. Conclusion: sugar does not feed cancer directly, but excess sugar in the diet leads to obesity. And this is a proven risk factor for many cancers. Myth 2, coffee causes cancer. As recently as 20 years ago, this was debated. But today the opposite has been proven. Coffee does not increase the risk of cancer. Moreover, there is evidence that it reduces the likelihood of liver and endometrial cancer. It is not the coffee that is dangerous, but the too hot temperature of the drink. Myth 3. Soy is dangerous for women and it causes breast cancer. This is a mistake. Yes, soy has phytoestrogens, but their action in the body is mild and not like real estrogens. Large studies show that women who eat soy have a lower risk of breast cancer recurrence. The conclusion is that soy is not dangerous, and on the contrary, it can be beneficial. Myth 4. GMOs cause cancer. There is not a single piece of evidence that GMO foods increase the risk of tumors. All major regulators in Europe and the United States confirm that GMO products are comparable to conventional products in terms of safety. So there is no need to fear them in terms of cancer. Myth 5. Artificial sweeteners. Most often asked about aspartame. Yes, it has recently been labeled as possibly carcinogenic. This only means that scientists are still studying the issue. In practice, there is no evidence of harm at normal doses. The conclusion is that sweeteners are not a proven carcinogen, but like all should be consumed in moderation. Now for the final cheat sheet, nutrition and cancer. To avoid getting confused by the details, let us memorize a simple table. It will be divided into 3 groups and a total of 12 points. Group 1. What to exclude completely. The first is processed meats, sausages, frankfurters, and bacon. The second is alcohol, any alcohol, and in any dosage, the less, the better. The third is moldy foods, but not cheese. Of course, these are nuts, grains, spices with signs of spoilage. The fourth, heavily salted preparations, traditional salted fish and vegetables in brine. The next section, what to limit. The fifth, red meat no more than 2 or 3 times a week, or up to 500 grams a week in cooked form. The sixth, meat on the fire, do not bring it to a black crust. The seventh, fried starches, French fries, chips and burnt bread. The eighth, very hot drinks, tea and coffee cooled below 65 degrees. And the final section, what to add to the diet. The ninth, fruits and vegetables every day and preferably colorful. The 10th, whole grains and legumes are a source of fiber and protein. The 11th, fish and poultry are safe protein foods. The 12th, home-cooked foods instead of ultra-processed foods. Less packaging and more simple home cooking. The formula is simple. Remove unnecessary risks, leave variety, and eat in such a way that the body does not take a hit every day. Then nutrition works for us, not against us.